It's me. We're back with another one. I traded today. We won. Good on that. I'm going to go over one, how you could have executed on this trade, and then mainly how you could have avoided all the other losses that were shown earlier. So, yeah, today we traded GJ. This was pretty much the only most apparent setup available. So, I'm clearly just going to tell you guys why I traded this pair and what led me to actually want to trade it. So first of all, you'll clearly notice that the daily time frame is bullish. When GJ goes, pretty much just tends to rip. So we like to see trend-based trades. So for bullish, we want to stick to the trend, right? So what's next here? We also know that the 4-hour is bullish. We recently broke structure to the upside on the 4-hour. And what do we see here? Coming into New York Open, we actually see something very, very interesting, right? It was very interesting to see what here. We saw this hourly candle right here close above this previous hourly low, which to me was like, wow, do we want to fool people into thinking that we have an hourly break of structure to the downside? Well, as you can see now, it was likely the hourly break of structure to the downside. But I prepared myself for that scenario too, and I'm going to go over exactly what I did to prepare myself for that, right? So on my charts, obviously, I'm seeing this to be bearish, correct? However, I'm seeing this to be bullish. However, I need to acknowledge that this actually may just be a broker-to-broker difference where you actually did have an hourly break of structure to the downside. So if I must take that into account, I need to identify, one, where internal liquidity is and where we are likely to take it out, right? So what do I notice? Two things. Coming into the morning, I said, okay, I noticed that we could just break structure off of here and continue on higher. Mind you, I'm also aware that we have PPI coming out at about 8:30 in the morning or some form of news. I'm pretty sure it's PPI. But so I was like, okay, I need to be very much careful of that because we're likely going to see a liquidity sweep event. So what do we see here? I also observed that the Asian low has not been taken. What does that mean? Most of the time, the sessions high and low gets taken. It's pretty much a mandatory thing in general. Same thing happened the day before, so on and so forth. It's a minor confluence that I like to keep in mind. And the Asian low usually has liquidity from pretty much the entire day's worth of longs because that's pretty much the lowest point they would have put their stops, right? So moving on, I notice, okay, 15 minutes bearish, hourly's bullish, 4 hours bullish, daily's bullish. So you have the 1 day, 4 hour, the hour, 15 minutes not. But what do we notice? Precisely when news comes out at around 8:30, now I'm looking at the charts like a hawk because I'm thinking, okay, what can I expect here, right? So I'm thinking to myself, the best confluence for me to start looking to trade on the lower time frames is a 5-minute break of structure. But what do we see? We don't get that 5-minute break of structure all the way until here. But we do get a liquidity sweep right here. So what do I see? I say, okay, watch this liquidity sweep. I saw this candle form. I did not touch it because you do not trade that news candle. That is literally rule number 1. If you're not trying to trade news and gamble, you will never trade that news candle itself. So what do? I sit on my hand and see how the candle closes. The next candles go. So we had this move up, took out all of this. Whoever thought they were going long today instantly got stopped out with this move and sweep of the Asian low, which to me was like, okay, good confluence. Next, what did I do? I said, okay, I see this. So now I'm going to position myself for certain things. I want to see an internal break of structure to the upside, which we observe here. I want to see an order block or a fair value gap get filled so we can get a reaction off of it so that I can say, okay, at this point in time, we have a good chance that we could see some bullish reactions. Awesome. So what do we see here? We get a break of structure here while maintaining hourly, 4-hour, daily structure at the Asian low after news. So all of that is me adding value to my entry. At that point, I see this break of structure and this reaction at which I enter. And I say, awesome, let's put the stops under these lows and let's target what? The nearest high on the 15-minute. This is likely where people will have their stops if they're trying to go short because they will assume 15-minute break of structure signifying longs and likely will leave their positions. So that's where I put the stops. So if you want to make money in these markets, you have to put your take profits at people's stop losses and your entries at their stop losses too. You want to hunt stops. Okay? I'll see you guys in the next one. And join the Discord because everybody makes money in there for free.